It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. No, this is not a tale of two cities. This is a tale of two trimmers. Nope, I'm not Roger. I'm the lawnmower lady, and I like fixing small engines. Today's video is going to maybe help you not make a mistake when you're at the thrift store, Habitat Restore, wherever. This time of year, which is springtime around here, a lot of lawn and garden equipment shows up. I'm going to show you a couple of things to look for to make sure you don't waste that 20 or 30 bucks on something that's really not worth it. If you do buy something, take it home, do a few checks, take a good look at it, and then even if you don't have any special tools, I'll show you a couple of things you can do. Follow along. All right, I know this hasn't been used in many years, but say you saw this at a yard sale or a thrift store or whatnot. A few things you can look at right then and there help you make a decision right away whether you want to spend money on this thing. This one has a cracked primer bulb. You see that? Check for all the knobs and switches. Are they there? Do they seem to be doing something when you activate them? Open up the fuel tank. Stick your nose in there. What does it smell like? Does it smell like fuel, or does it smell like, floor finish? Is there a fuel filter in there? These are things that you're going to have to deal with one way or the other. Check on the fuel lines. You can see these fuel lines are broken and rotted away, so you have to fix that. Pull on the cord. Is it hard to pull? Is it frozen up? Is it real easy to pull? You can do some more tests at home to see the condition of that. Check all the other throttle linkages, the spring. It should spring back. When you operate that, you should hear something going on back in the engine, which we do. The shaft on this one is not too bent up. There's no dents or kinks in it. It still has the guard, which is a good thing. The head spins freely. It's not jammed up. And it still has the bump stop. So, 10 or 15 bucks at a yard sale, 20 bucks at the thrift store, this might be worth it. It's going to take some work. Get this one going. So this is a steel, this is actually an edger, but same thing applies. You want to take a good look at it. Pull on the cord. Is there resistance? Does it spin freely? Same thing here. Stick your nose in there. Try to smell the gas. See if there's anything floating around in there that shouldn't be floating in there. This primer bulb is in good shape, and there's obviously fuel in here. You can take a look at the air filter on this guy. Pop this guy off of here. And then the air filter, which looks really good. A lot of trimmers, edgers like this blow up a lot of dust, so that's actually pretty good looking. That one is. Same thing here. Check all the switches and levers. When you pull the trigger, you can actually see something happening there on the carburetor side. Check the switches. Do they work? That's good, or at least they click and sound like they work. The shaft, it's not bent. And the end moves freely. So, if this was at a yard sale, I would certainly consider spending, some good money on this. A lot of life left in these steels. I know I said this is the tale of two trimmers, but actually I picked this one up at the dump the other day, and this is what gave me the idea to make this video. This was sitting at the dump, and I'm sure someone would have taken this home thinking it was great. They can fix it up, but if you notice, no fuel lines, no carburetor at all. They've just taken that off. No fuel cap. The throttle cable has been sheared off. And of course, there's no business end on this one. So again, this is not something to spend any money on if you see something like this at a thrift store. For the rest of this video, I'll be showing you the checks you can do at home, and actually some while you're still at the store looking at it if you want to, on this steel, because obviously we know the problems with that Royby. So one of the things you can do, and if you're crafty, you might consider carrying your good old-fashioned chainsaw wrench with you. But one of the first thing you want to do is you want to check the spark plug, the condition there. And if you have your tool with you, like I said, you can actually take this off while you're there at the store, still deciding if you want to buy this thing or not. Because the thing that we're going to be able to check here is, number one, does it have spark? Number two, does it have compression? So we'll show you a couple of ways to do that. In this particular case, the spark plug actually really looks good. This has been running pretty well. If it was running lean, it would be all white. If it was running rich or gagged up, it would be all sooty and black on there. This is a good time to take a flashlight and look inside. You can see the condition of the top of the piston. And then if you pull on the pull cord, you can see the piston go in and out. And if you look at an angle, it's kind of hard to see from here, and I'm not even going to try to show you this, but you can see if the sides of the cylinder wall are scored, which is what you want to, make sure. If it's scored, you really don't want to try to mess with this one again. So without tools, while we've got this out, you can check for compression. The easiest way to check for compression is to put your finger over the spark plug hole and pull on the cord, and if you feel it pushing your finger out, which this one is, not hard, but my fingers aren't that big to completely cover up the hole, but I can feel pressure on my finger right there. So that's a good sign right there. The next thing we're going to take a look at is how to do this with a particular tool. So once you're at home with this, you can always use a standard compression tester to check the compression on this. I'm going to take the head off of this one because it makes it a little easier to thread it in. But this threads right into the spark plug hole. And some of these, just be mindful that you don't cross thread it, because with that spark plug boot sort of in the way, that would be easy to do. So we just want to spin this in. Not just finger tight, not going to really do too much there. I'm going to put the head back on here and push the release button. And we're going to pull this thing. Most people tell you to hold the throttle wide open, which I'm going to do. And we're going to pull this until the compression tester stops moving. Well, that says 120. Sorry about all the noise, and that's good enough for me. Anything over 100 is fine. If it was in the low 90s or 80s, that would indicate maybe a worn cylinder or worn rings, but I think compression, we're okay on this. While we're still dealing with the spark plug, you want to check for spark at this point. And the way you do this, a couple of different ways. I'm going to show you without special tools. And I'll show you another way with some special tools. You can just use the existing spark plug, and the idea is you want to test it in open air, but you want the outer part, the threads, or this outer part right here to be touching the cylinder head. And you can do that with your crafty chainsaw wrench, all right? And this will allow us to get the spark plug right there, testing it, and we won't have to touch it, or we'll be careful with it. So let's give that a shot. I'm going to plug that in, and I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer, and hopefully we'll be able to see some good spark here. So I'm going to hold the spark plug cap by the rubber boot. Don't touch this part because you'll get the shock of your lifetime, but we're going to be looking for spark right in there. And I'll give this a whirl, see if this can get some spark coming out of here. Oh, and I'm a dummy. I had the switch off, so let me turn the kill switch on one more time now. There you go. There's some big fat blue spark there happening between the electrode there and the threads. So, spark is good, compression is good. Now, if you did want to use a tool to test for spark, there's a couple of different kinds you can use. This one is actually going to be a little too short. This is more appropriate for a lawnmower, but the way this one works is you would screw your spark plug in, and then you attach this into your spark plug, and then this one would go into the spark plug boot. As you can see, it really is not going to work because it's too short. But then you would be able to see a neon light glowing inside of there. That's one style. Another spark tester is this particular kind. You could, if for example, if the spark plug wasn't sparking, it could either be a bad spark plug or a bad coil, ignition coil. So this will eliminate the ignition coil because this doesn't require the spark plug. The way this works is you push that into the spark plug cap, and then find a place to hook the other end somewhere on the engine. Ooh, this might be kind of tough. Maybe I can get in on the muffler there. All right, I think that's got a bite on the muffler. Let me stick something with a dark background behind there so it'll be a little easier to see that spark. We know it works, but that just shows you how this one works. So hopefully you'll be able to see a spark jump between those two electrodes right there. There is spark jumping there. We knew it was good, but this is just a different style tester. So one of the last things we want to take a look at, which we looked at earlier, and that was obviously fine, was the fuel flow situation. And this primer bulb is good. You can see fuel gushing through there. And actually, while I've been doing this video, I could smell gasoline. So obviously fuel is getting through the system. Some more complicated things that you would do to maintenance this or get this going might be to deal with the spark arrestor. You have to disassemble this, take the muffler off, and any carburetor work which might be necessary if it's not starting or whatnot. But these are good things to look for. All right, so there you have it. That's my tale of two trimmers. Hopefully the video will help you do quick little things if you're looking at something maybe at a yard sale or thrift store. This will give you a few things you can check on right there and a few more things once you get home. Okay, if you learned something, please push the like and subscribe button, and I can make more of these videos. Remember, I'm the Lawnmower Lady, and as I like to say, mow happy. Thank you for watching.